Most shows have a line they won't cross. Family Guy treats that line like a starting blocks marker. It steps over it before the episode even begins, and then it keeps walking, whistling, daring anyone to stop it. And here's the part that should genuinely amaze you. It almost never gets stopped. Over and over, this show has done things that would have ended any other program on television, and not only survived, but came back the next week to do it again, bigger. Today we're counting every time Family Guy went way too far and somehow got away with it completely. Because getting away with it isn't luck. There's a method to it. The show has a set of tricks, almost like a magician's misdirection, that let it commit television crimes in broad daylight while the audience claps instead of calling the cops. By the end of this, you're going to understand the exact machinery that lets Family Guy survive jokes that should be career enders, and you'll start spotting the trick in real time.
There are 3 tools the show uses to get away with murder, figuratively and sometimes almost literally. The speed trick, where it moves so fast you can't object. The everyone gets it trick, where it offends so widely that no single group can claim to be the target. And the cartoon shield, the simplest and most powerful of all. We'll build through each one, and the last category is the boldest stuff the show has ever pulled. Let's start with speed, because it's the most underrated weapon in the whole arsenal. Family Guy's signature is the cutaway gag, those quick cuts to a random scene that have nothing to do with the plot. On the surface, they're just jokes, but functionally, they're an escape hatch. The show can drop the most outrageous, offensive, jaw-dropping idea imaginable, hold it on screen for 3 seconds, and then cut away before your brain has time to process what it just saw and decide to be upset. By the time the offended part of you wakes up, the show is already 2 jokes down the road, and getting angry now feels like showing up late to your own outrage.
Think about how that actually feels watching it. There's a specific delayed reaction Family Guy creates, where you laugh first, and then about 5 seconds later your eyes go wide and you think, wait, did they really just do that? But by then the moment's gone, unrepeatable, almost deniable. That delay is the whole point. The show weaponizes the gap between laughing and thinking. It's the comedy equivalent of saying something terrible and leaving the room before anyone can respond. Here's the first signpost. The speed trick works because outrage needs a target to hold still. Family Guy never holds still. It commits the offense and flees the scene in the same breath, which means the audience never gets the satisfying pause where they could decide to be angry. Hold on to that idea, because it connects to everything else. Now let's talk about the second tool, the everyone gets it equally defense. This one is genius and a little diabolical. Family Guy doesn't pick a side. It mocks everyone, every group, every belief, every sacred cow, every type of person. All of it goes into the wood chipper. And paradoxically, that universality is a shield. When a show targets one specific group, that group can rally, organize, and fight back. But when a show offends literally everyone with equal enthusiasm, no single group can claim to be uniquely victimized, because they can all point at someone who got it worse. The show turns its own cruelty into a kind of fairness. We're not picking on you. We pick on everybody. It's an equal opportunity offender, and that even-handedness is exactly what makes it bulletproof. You feel the effect of this as a viewer too. It's hard to stay mad at a show that, 30 seconds after the joke that annoyed you, lands a joke at the expense of the exact thing that annoyed you about being annoyed. The show is always one step ahead, mocking the reaction before you can have it. It anticipates your objection and turns it into the next punchline. That's why so many people who should hate Family Guy end up watching it anyway. It disarms criticism by making criticism part of the joke. Here's the plan for the end. The everyone gets it defense has one crucial limit, a single thing it can't protect against, and that limit is the key to understanding the rare times the show actually did get in trouble. Remember that, because we're coming back to it. Now the big one. The cartoon shield. This is the foundation everything else is built on. Animation gives Family Guy permission that no live-action show could ever have. When a real human actor says or does something monstrous on screen, it lands with the full weight of reality. We see a real face, a real body, real eyes, and our empathy kicks in automatically. But when a cartoon character with a goofy voice and a round little body does the exact same thing, our brain files it under not real, and the empathy alarm never goes off. The show can stage genuinely disturbing scenarios, the kind that would be unwatchable with actors, and the cartoon styling sands all the sharp edges down to something we can laugh at. This is why Family Guy can show violence, cruelty, and chaos that would get a drama pulled off the air. The bright colors are camouflage. The silly designs are a disguise. The show hides its darkest material inside the most harmless-looking rapper imaginable, a rapper we associate with childhood and Saturday mornings.
There's something almost sinister about how effective it is. The cuter the character, the more horrifying the thing they can get away with doing, because the gap between how they look and what they do is itself the joke. Let's get into the boldest stuff. The times the show pushed all three tools to the absolute limit. These are the moments fans still talk about, the ones where you genuinely cannot believe it made it to air. The show has taken on the most untouchable public figures and institutions. It has staged scenarios so dark that the only reason they're funny is the sheer audacity of attempting them. It has built entire episodes around premises that, described out loud in a meeting, would get you escorted out of the building. And it aired them to millions of people, with ads.
The pattern in all of these is the same. The show goes for something so far past the line that the audience's only options are to laugh or to be too stunned to react. And stunned silence is just laughter that hasn't arrived yet. Family Guy bets every single time that audacity will be mistaken for comedy, and it keeps winning that bet. The bigger the swing, the safer it somehow becomes, because nobody can quite believe a show would actually go there, which means it must be a joke, which means you're allowed to laugh. Let me give you the specific flavors of Too Far the show specializes in, because each one uses the three tools in a slightly different way, and recognizing them is half the fun. First, there's the celebrity demolition. Family Guy has torn into famous people with a viciousness that would get most shows sued into oblivion. It names names. It mocks real, living, powerful figures to their faces in front of millions. And it gets away with it because of the cartoon shield plus speed. A live talk show host roasting a celebrity that hard would face real consequences, real feuds, real fallout. But a cartoon doing it fast, as one joke among 50 slides right past. The target can't even respond without looking like they can't take a joke from a show about a talking dog. The show picks fights it knows the other side can't win, because fighting back would be more embarrassing than taking the hit. Second, there's the taboo topic dive. The show builds whole bits around subjects polite society has agreed never to joke about. The kind of topics that make a room go silent. And it doesn't tiptoe, it cannonballs in. The reason it survives is the everyone gets it defense working overtime. The show makes sure that within the same breath it's offended a dozen other groups too, so no single coalition can form against it. It spreads the damage so wide that outrage can't concentrate anywhere. There's a horrible brilliance to it, like a criminal who commits so many crimes at once that the police don't know which one to charge first. Third, there's the self-aware confession. This is the boldest move of all, where the show openly acknowledges, inside the joke, that it's gone too far. Characters will literally comment on how the show is pushing it, how a joke ran too long, how something was in poor taste, and by naming the crime itself, the show inoculates against the criticism. You can't accuse it of something it just accused itself of more cleverly than you could. It's the comedy equivalent of confessing to disarm the prosecution. By the time you've formed your complaint, the show has already made the same complaint, funnier, and moved on. Fourth, and most dangerous, there's the marathon gag. Family Guy is famous for taking a joke and stretching it far past the point of comfort, holding on a single bit until it stops being funny, becomes unbearable, and then, if held even longer, loops back around into funny again through sheer endurance. This one doesn't use speed at all. It uses the opposite, duration, betting that if it commits to discomfort long enough, the audience's resistance will collapse into laughter just to make the tension stop. It's the riskiest trick in the show's arsenal, because when it fails hard. But when it lands, it produces some of the most talked about moments in the show's history. Stack these four together and you've got a complete toolkit for going too far on purpose and surviving every time. The celebrity demolition, the taboo dive, the self-aware confession, the marathon gag. Every shocking Family Guy moment is some combination of these, layered over the three core tools of speed, universality, and the cartoon shield. It's not random recklessness. It's a system, refined over decades, for committing television crimes and walking away clean. So why does this keep working? Why hasn't the audience built up an immunity? Well, the culture finally said enough. And here's the payoff, tied to that limit I planted earlier. The one thing the show's tricks can't protect against is sincerity. Speed, universality, and the cartoon shield all work because the show is never serious. The second Family Guy would actually mean something it said. All three shields drop at once. The cutaway can't outrun a real opinion. The everyone gets it defense can't hide a genuine target. The cartoon styling can't soften something the show actually believes. That's why the rare moments Family Guy got into real trouble were the moments it stopped joking, even for a second, and let something true slip out. Insincerity is the armor. Sincerity is the chink in it.
And that's the deeper lesson here, not just about Family Guy, but about a whole style of comedy that defined an era. The show's entire survival strategy is built on never being pinned down, never meaning anything, never holding still long enough to be held accountable. It's comedy as a moving target. The genius of it is undeniable, and so is the cost. A show that can never be caught is also a show that can never quite be believed when it tries to say something real, because it spent decades teaching us that nothing it says counts.
And there's a final piece worth naming because it's the secret ingredient under all the others. Family Guy got away with going too far because deep down, the audience wanted it to. We didn't watch despite the outrageousness, we watched because of it. There's a real thrill in seeing someone say the unsayable, in watching a show do the thing everyone else is too scared to do. The show became a kind of pressure valve, a place where the rules of polite society got suspended for 22 minutes, and that release is genuinely satisfying in a world full of things you're not supposed to say. The audience became co-conspirators. We didn't just tolerate the line crossing, we tuned in for it, week after week, daring the show to go further and rewarding it when it did. A show only gets away with this much for this long if the people watching are quietly on its side, and we were.
So the next time Family Guy makes you gasp, watch which of the 3 tricks it just used. Was it too fast to object to? Did it offend so widely you couldn't single it out? Or did the cartoon rapper let it sneak something genuinely dark past your guard? Once you can name the trick, the show transforms from random shock into a precision instrument, and honestly, that makes it even more impressive. So which Family Guy moment made your jaw hit the floor? Which one do you still can't believe they got away with? Drop it in the comments, because I want to build the ultimate list of the times this show should not have survived and did anyway. If this pulled back the curtain for you, hit that like button and send it to the friend who always says they can't say that on TV, because clearly they can. And stick around, because going too far is one thing, predicting the future is another, and the number of times Family Guy somehow called real events before they happened is genuinely unsettling. We're counting those next.